All right, let's jump right in. Today, we are tackling one of the oldest puzzles out there, the whole relationship between faith and works. You know the one. Is it what you believe in your heart, or is it what you do with your hands that really counts?
It can feel like a real tug of war, right? On one side, you hear it's all about what you believe. But then on the other, there's all this talk about action, about performance. So what gives? Well, what we're going to explore today is the idea that this might be a false choice altogether. So here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll look at the core dilemma. Then we'll dive into this key idea, the logic of the vine. After that, we'll see how the proof is in the fruit, look at the power source behind it all, redefine what belief really means here, and finally pull it all together into one unified model. Okay, let's start with part one, that core dilemma, which really gets to the heart of discipleship. So here's the question at the center of it all. Does Jesus just ask his followers to have this internal state of belief, to just kind of stay in him? Or is what they actually do, their external performance, an absolutely essential part of the whole deal? What we're going to see is that genuine belief and faithful performance aren't just linked, they are literally inseparable.
So, how do we even begin to sort this out? Well, the key that unlocks this entire puzzle is a single, really powerful metaphor from the Gospel of John.
And here it is, the vine and the branches. Jesus says he's the vine. That's the source of all the life, all the energy. And his disciples, we're the branches. Now, just think about a real grapevine for a second. What is the one and only job of a branch? It's to produce fruit. So right from the very start, this metaphor is all about production. It's about performance.
And that leads us right into our third point. If this whole metaphor is about producing fruit, then that fruit, that performance, it isn't just some optional extra. It's actually presented as the required evidence that you have a true connection to the vine. In fact, you can boil it down to three distinct and really powerful roles that this fruit, this performance, plays. It's the whole purpose of being connected, it's the proof that you are connected, and not having it has a pretty serious consequence. Let's break that down. First, the purpose. The text says, I chose you, that you should go and bear fruit. I mean, that's the mission, plain and simple. Second, the proof. We're going to see in just a moment how that fruit is the thing that proves you're a disciple. And third, the consequence of not having any. The branch is said to wither up and get taken away, which tells you that a lack of fruit is a symptom of a really big problem with the connection itself. And this verse just nails that second point about proof. It's amazing. It doesn't say, bear fruit to become my disciple. No, it says you bear fruit and in doing so, you prove that you already are one. The performance doesn't earn you the title. It's the visible external evidence of a connection that's already there. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Wow, that sounds like a ton of pressure to perform. But hang on, because here is the crucial twist. This isn't about you just trying harder or pulling yourself up by your bootstraps. This is all about performance that's powered by a divine source. This right here is the linchpin of the entire idea. Apart from me, you can do nothing. That single statement changes everything. It means all this fruit, all this performance we've been talking about, is literally impossible for a branch to do on its own. It has to come from the vine. And the logic just flows perfectly, like a chain reaction. It's not believe in me or do the works. It's whoever believes in me will do the works. See that? Belief is the cause. Performance is the inevitable effect. The belief itself is what flips the switch, unlocking the power to do not just the same things, but even greater things. Okay, get ready, because this next part is where it all really clicks. This is the aha moment. To fully get this, we need to totally redefine what we mean by belief and unbelief, based on what this whole vine metaphor is showing us. So let's put them side by side and see what they actually look like. Because belief in this context is so much more than just a one-time mental decision. Belief is an active, continuous thing. The word used is abiding or remaining. It's like you're constantly holding the door open, inviting that divine power to flow through you. Unbelief, on the other hand, isn't just doubt. It's the opposite action. It's a state of separation, where you're trying to run on your own power, which effectively slams the door shut and bars that life from the vine. So, let's bring it all home. With these new definitions, we can see the final unified model. And it completely resolves that dilemma we started with. It's just a simple, clean system of cause and effect. So look, it all boils down to two fundamental paths. On the top row, if your action is belief, which means inviting power in, the necessary result is performance. You get fruit. On the bottom row, if your action is unbelief, which means barring that power, the necessary result is uselessness. The branch withers. And it's not a punishment, It's just a natural consequence. A branch that's disconnected from its power source simply cannot produce anything. So what's the bottom line? The big takeaway is that Jesus absolutely relies on his disciples to perform. And why? Because that performance is the guaranteed supernatural evidence that they are genuinely connected to him, that they are truly abiding in the vine. And that leaves us with one final thought. If that connection, that abiding, is the cause, and the fruit is the natural effect, what is your life producing? And really, that's not a question of judgment. It's more of a diagnostic, a way to check the health of the connection to the source.